Dobry wieczór. Nic nie powiedziałaś, czy tylko ja ci nie... Babciu? Eee, Słychać się, nic nie mówisz. Pewnie. O!
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 Koła! Niemożliwe.
Impossible!
No, niemożliwe. Brawo, babciu.
Dziękuję, dziękuję. Teraz to się zjebało. Czekaj. Okej.
Nieładnie.
A,
Wracając, dobry wieczór.
Witam. Puf. Nie wiem, czy to będzie działać na streamie, ale jebać. Nie wiem, czy w ogóle jest ten stream.
Czekaj, wyjdę na Twitcha.
No teoretycznie jest. Okej. No i działa, jest tak fajna tańcząca ameba.
Faktycznie jest, czekaj. Nie, powtórka. Powtórka jest
Czemu jest jako sztuka? Bro.
O, jestem! A nie, dobra, jest, działa.
What the
O, jestem.
Dlaczego? Dlaczego to jest... Jak ja to teraz mam zmienić? Czekaj. Jak się zmienia w OBS-ie ten... Yy, yy, Co to jest taki? Nie. Potrzebuję, potrzebuję pomocy.
No cóż.
Panel przeglądarki? No. Zbierz scen? Nope.
Zniknęło.
O, powiadomienie, okej, nie będzie rysu, tylko jak nazwać to? Nie sztuka właśnie, tylko to jest...
Nie wiem, ale ktoś cię oglądał przez chwilę.
A mnie to gówno obchodzi. Jednak nie. Kategoria? Puf. Nie znajdziemy tego. Nie ma tego kategorii. Co to jest za kategoria? Okej. Napiszę game. Games plus demos. Brzmi jak coś, co robię teraz. Logiczna akcja, gra przygodowa, bijatyka. Dobra, jebać. Polski, język transmisji. Damy se English, bo będziemy czytać. Tytuł. Tytuł gry, dobra. Sprawdź teraz, czy jest dobrze.
Tak, jest Stillwater i jest Game plus Demos.
Czemu jest, że streamuję powtórkę? Ja nie mogę tego zmienić. Excuse me?
A ja wiem. Ale ktoś cię jeszcze ogląda, nie? To jest
Nie.
progres, nie?
Dobra. Zaczynamy gierkę. Już mnie to nie obchodzi. Dobra. Czy też gościa, czy babę? Gościa.
Dokładnie.
Break room. Cóż to? Joshua.
Nie widzę, nie dałaś mi streama.
Już.
Dziękuję bardzo.
O, to jest chyba muzyka. Music. options.
Nie mów mi, że wziąłem głównego bohatera, proszę.
Yes, yes.
Nie wiem.
Good luck.
Teraz ja to będę musiał wszystko czytać, let's go.
Mhm. O, rollback działa, dobra. Co było? Jo. Okay. This is a work of fiction. This resemblance to any real life people is purely coincident. This game contains depictions of horror, mature themes, violence, and strong language. Viewer discretion is advised. I'm not sorry for you, but like. I'm sorry, but I can't stay here anymore, Nina. I feel like I'm going crazy. Ty będziesz Nina.
Aha!
Come on.
I'm down if we can just talk it out.
So many strange things keep happening after another. Every day there's this damn tripping sound. I thought it was just something leaking at first, but I check every faucet, every ceiling, every pipeline, and still I hear it everywhere, constantly echoing in my ears. Oh, but the water. I find random pools of water just appearing out of nowhere, just like the dripping. But it's at night. It's at night when it comes. I don't know if it's my paranoia, but I swear I could hear footsteps walking along the hallways, walking on pools of water. They walk, and they walk. Upstairs, then downstairs. What the fuck? And upstairs, and downstairs, and upstairs, and downstairs, and upstairs, blah blah blah. And it goes on and on and on and on like that. But somehow, it does come to an end. And it ends. All in front of your grandfather's room.
Kropek.
Yeah. I know that this is a lot, but you have to believe me. No matter how many times I clean, it just won't end. I can't stay here any longer. I'm sorry, Nana. Ale masz dużo do czytania.
It's okay, I understand. Thank you for taking care of my grandfather.
Nina, please listen to me. I don't know what's happening around here, but the woman on the phone cautiously looks around before speaking again in a hushed tone. Something terrible is lurking through this house. I don't know what it is, but please, as soon as you get back, take your grandfather and just leave this place.
Jak ja mam to przeczytać? Co to jest? No wykrzykniki, no.
Musisz taki dźwięk wydać. Sound.
Ale jaki?
I don't know. Think.
O. Patrz, 3 kropki są na dole.
Co nie? Czekaj, bo ktoś coś napisał i takie... What the fuck. Muszę zmienić to chyba na żółty. Na biały, kuźwa. Wait, what the fuck? Okay. Anyways. Okay, I'm coming back. I don't care for the chat. I mean, yeah. Sorry.
I can't just leave. That's my home.
Please, Nina, this place, it's not safe.
I don't know what you saw, but I can't just leave the things like that. Like this.
Weź, sorry.
It's my home. It's my home.
Widzisz ten cień
Jaki cień?
na obrazku?
Go tam wcześniej nie było?
Czekaj. Okay, I'm back. Oh. 7 and 8 dinner. I mean, it's breakfast. What the fuck? Amid a foggy morning, there sits a man by the corner of a bush. He drinks black coffee and, depending on his mood, occasionally orders a donut. And today it was just black coffee. Jesteś Hugo.
O. O.
Okay, I'm back.
Ugh.
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 I swear, I've never seen that amount of paperwork in my life. A freaking mountain worth of it. You will. Powiedz mi w końcu, jak to się czyta, bo tego nie przeczytam.
Valuable?
Member of our team, Hugo. My food. I'm starting to believe that I was bamboozled into joining their against.
True. Hugo Lauret, age 30, takes a good
Ole
look
jestem
at his,
stary, let's go.
at his cup of joe and chucks it all in one sitting. He then continues to grumble to himself about last night's grueling walk at the office.
I really need to find a different job.
As he contemplates his poor life choices, he looks out towards the airy mist. There was something inherently terrifying about the fog to him, how it engulfs everything and nothing. Even if it disappears, it always leaves behind traces, proof of it remaining.
Even in a quaint little town like this, I can't even run from my fate, I guess.
Hugo finally stares at the compiled newspaper clippings he put together. Some of them from recent events, but mainly all were past headlines of missing person cases.
No matter how many times I say this it's still just as hard to look at.
Fixating case after case, he can't help but remind himself that there is a reason for all of this. An all too personal reason. Seeing strange things come with a price.
And I'm the only one doing this to myself.
Sounds right. Mind if I join? An annoyingly familiar voice interrupts his train of thought. He slowly looks up to see the one responsible, although reluctantly. Good morning, Hugo. Hugo scrolls and turns away from him. He then gathers the files and shoves it back into the binder. Meanwhile, the tall man takes this as an initiative and sits at the opposite end of the booth. He greets the waitress passing by, orders himself a hefty body breakfast special with an extra plate.
Zapisz to. Nie, cofnij, zapisz to będzie ważne, na pewno.
Too late.
To będzie ważne dla fabuły, zapisz to jakoś.
Nah.
Tam było coś o obcych.
Będziesz pamiętał. As usual, the waitress is happy to obligate and goes back to the counter to relay his order. The man then looks back at Hugo. He sees the empty cups and now jumbled newspapers clippings, all the while Hugo is trying to ignore him. You really should eat something with the black coffee. Not ordering any donuts today.
Fun, I'm just not in the mood, okay?
Not even a little. There is a momentary silence between them before Noah disturbs it once more. Well, too bad for you. I ordered a big breakfast for the two of us.
Two?
As if the world could grace Noah with an even more perfect punchline, the food arrives.
Why the hell did you order for the two of us? Just eat what you want to eat, don't worry about me.
Wow, this looks so delicious, right, Hugo?
Are you even listening to me?
Come on, we both know that if you don't eat now, who knows when you will, and I'm not about to leave you faint again. So, open wide.
To jest takie prawdziwe.
Noah DeLeon, age 27, a natural born charmer, is just as equally persuasive as he is threatening. With a pensive look, Hugo finally gives in and eats the generous spoonful without further complaints.
It's good.
Right? Good food will always help cheer you up.
Damn him. It's whipped away again.
Oh, by the way, the chief will be out for a business trip. She mentioned it will be for a couple of days.
When did she tell you this? I didn't hear anything about it.
Yesterday, I think.
Yesterday? She told me to sort out the cabins yesterday. She didn't mention anything about the business trip.
I guess it was a pretty sudden one. Well, I mean, she did tell me to tell you. And lucky me, I know where you go every morning.
You know what? I'm not surprised anymore.
Well, what do you want to do? We technically have the day off.
I'm gonna head back to the office. There's a couple of boxes I didn't get a chance to sort out.
In that case, I'll come with you.
Why? You could just rest for the day.
And pass up this opportunity to get to know you better.
With it.
After the enlightening banner, the two of them finish their breakfast, pay for the meals, and head to Hugo's car. As Noah opens the door to the passenger seat, he notices a bloodhound sleeping inside.
Oh!
The big dog stirs as the sound of the car opening and lazily stares at Noah. I'm sorry, big guy. He then closes the door while trying not to make too much noise to disturb its occupant.
Colby.
Oh. Look at the eyes! At the sounds of his name, his heavily lidded eyes slowly peek to see who calls for him.
Ale wytłumacz mi czemu to zawsze jest kot albo pies, czemu to nigdy nie jest żaba. To jest smutne.
Masz problem.
No mam!
It is his one and only partner. He's human. As if finally realizing who he is, or where he is, the old bloodhound stirs up from his sleep, pounces at Hugo and proceeds to wag his tail uncontrollably.
Good morning again, Colby. Had a nice nap?
Colby, 8 years old, Hugo's most faithful and loving partner in crime. He has the biggest tendency to just sleep all over the place. Noah, who is witnessing all of this from the back seat, chuckles to himself. He is amazed and slightly defeated at Hugo's sudden surge of energy. It doesn't matter how many times I try, when it comes to boosting up his mood, no one can beat Colby. Aww. 50 million. The three headed back to the office, the space just the same as Hugo left it. A decent, organized mess. To his credit, for the amount of boxes he painstakingly went through, he believes he did a fair job. Albeit could have been better. Wow, you really outdid yourself, Hugo. It looks less crowded.
Shut it, will you? I said I was gonna get to it. Thanks, boy.
Before Hugo could continue to give deserved head pats, he noticed someone. A woman stands timidly, peering outside from the store front. The woman appears a bit frantic, disheveled and wearing ill-fitted clothes. She appears to be distressed about something. When she finally makes eye contact with Hugo, she immediately rushes in. Ooh.
Mam to czytać?
No, ja będę. I'm sorry. I know that the close sign is up, but I saw you come in and
Are you alright, miss?
I need your help. My grandfather, he... Before she can continue, Noah swiftly intervenes. It's okay. We'll hear what you have to say. So please.
No przecież właśnie słuchaliście, on jest jakiś specjalny, ja
Why don't you
pierdzielę.
take a seat? Nah. Nie przerywaj mi. Wiecie, ja to czytam.
Które?
To jest śmieszne, że ja mam tyle postaci, a ty masz tego gościa głównego. Ja pierdolę. Dobra, kontynuując. Noah gestures to one of the empty chairs. The poor woman hesitates for a moment before heavily sighing in relief. She then walks towards the corner of the room and sits on the sofa. Can you start off by telling us your name? I'm sorry for earlier. My name is Nina Mortimer. I need help watching over my grandfather tonight.
Watching over your grandfather?
Yes.
I'm sorry, Miss Timmer, but I don't quite understand. Is he in danger?
I'm afraid he is.
Miss Mortimer, if that's the case, wouldn't contacting the police be better?
No. I've tried requesting for their help, but they all gave me the same answer. There is nothing they can do about it. If only I knew who Lois was.
Louis?
Nina fidgets at the name. She looks to the side before reaching out from her bag for an attic letter. My grandfather, he received a cryptic message for the other day. It didn't come with an address or the name of the sender. However, the only thing I did pick up was the name. As she hands over the letter, Hugo noticed her hand slightly shaking.
The lies in this note must have shaken her this badly. Delicately?
Delicately, Hugo removes the content of the envelope and unfolds it. At first glance, it seems like any normal written message. A person named Lewis asking the other, Henry, to come meet him by the late at midnight, needing to share something important with him. However, what's eerily striking about this letter is not the message itself. Rather, at the bottom of the page, a sentence far more disturbing is written. I am coming for you, Henry.
Were there any other letters like this?
Yes, a few of them. I thought it was a sick joke at first, but this one, This one is different. Up until now, I've never heard of anyone but my name. Not a relative or family friend, but I really know who my grandfather is. If I don't do something about this, I lose him too. Just by uttering the words alone, Nina breaks down. Hiding away her tear-striped face, she begins to quietly sob to herself. As an act of comfort, Colby sits closely to Nina while Noah fetches tissues for her. Hugo, on the other hand, is puzzled.
Czekaj, mam pytanie.
Mhm.
To ona ma... To na jej twarzy to są krople tego? Krople łzy, czy po prostu mi się coś z monitorem dzieje?
Łzy.
Mam brudny, okej. This is very well. This is very well could have. This very well could have been a prank, but she seems certain. Certain that whoever or whatever this person is, they're coming.
Creepy. Do you want more tissues?
I'll do. I'll take on your case.
For a moment, silence fills the room. Oni stares at directed at Hugo until Nina finally stands up and walks towards him. You'll take it. Hugo simply nods. Thank you, thank you. You don't know how much this means to me.
Ile ona nam zapłaci?
Nie wiem.
Czy my to za darmo robimy?
Nie wiem.
Nie denerwuj mnie, że za darmo.
Też bym się bała.
We're glad to help you, miss.
Nina is fine.
Well, Nina, we'll do our best.
Nina slightly smiles at Hugo before reaching into her bag once more and taking out a note. This is my address. 4970 Church Street. I'll be sure to greet you once when you get the detective. She politely bows once more before heading to her car and drives back home. Once out of sight, Hugo turns to look at his cluttered desk. Still messy, but presentable.
I guess I will have to sort this out later again.
Car. From the ongoing downpour to the quiet hums of the car, they sit in silence. Still miles off from the destination, Hugo constantly checks the rearview mirror. Noah, who usually cheats his ear off by now, sits completely still. He looks out to the passing streetlights, reserved and distant.
Hey, you're a lot quieter than usual. What's wrong?
This is a surprise. Have you been looking at me, Hugo?
No, you idiot. You usually just talk a lot. That's all.
So, do you miss me talking a lot?
Just say it.
Didn't want to offend Nina either earlier, so I kept quiet until she finished. But it's her last name that caught me off guard.
Hmm?
Have you heard about the Mortimers? They are a pretty distinguished family. Well, they used to be.
What do you mean?
They've been struck with so many tragedies that over time people began to believe they were cursed or something. Every other year I would see a headline on the local news about one of the family members' deaths. And you know what's strange? All of them have been labeled as accidents. No foul play, no nothing. Just another unfortunate event for the family. Maybe I understand why she wouldn't go to the police. She probably thought they would perceive her as paranoid or hysterical. Or worse, crazy. I can't imagine all of this for Nina. And most of all, who knows what we'll find there.
Is that why you decided to come with me?
Well, partially. I'm more worried about you, though. Think of it this way. I'm the appointed driver. When you decided to do some pretty reckless shit, I'll be there to drive you to the local hospital.
Een broer.
Besides, two are better than one.
Exactly. I was fine with Colby coming with me.
Well, have you heard that three is better than two? Mortimer Estate. That's nice. Passing through countless dirty roads and steep cliffs, the estate reveals itself beyond the evergreen. Nestled and tucked away from prying eyes, it stands tall, looming from a distance.
Jak myślisz, ile tu jest klatek tego deszczu?
2 albo 3. Hugo and Noah could only gaze at the sheer scale of a manor as they park off a Jack and Nina car. Wow, and to think she came all this way just to request us. It took us more than a couple of hours to get here.
Maybe she really didn't have a choice.
What do you mean?
Come on, she's waiting for us.
Poof.
Oh!
Immediately after exiting
Zawał?
the driver's seat, a sudden sharp pain weighs heavy on Hugo's chest. Probably. Grasping tightly at his coat, he begins to grasp for air. His gaze hazes as he leans close to the car. Like a fish drawn out from sea, he desperately heaves. But then ache he harbors pales in comparison to a pain far more excruciating. Is it the house? No, something far more sinister. He feels it. Someone is watching him. A piercing gaze fixed on him, like leering at the back and waiting to strike. I'll never forgive you.
What the hell? Haven't it already? Need to hurry or else.
Hey, are you alright? Noah calls out to him, snapping him out of his fixed trance. Yes. Colby nudged
Ja
his...
myślałem, że to ty!
Colby nudged his head against Hugo, whining with concern over his partner's well-being.
Did you hear that just now?
Hear what?
That voice! So close to my ear,
Is everything alright?
Ach, te głosy w głowie. I'm fine, don't mind me. I'm just a bit winded out from the trip, that's all.
I'd be happy to make you coffee at the very least.
It's not trouble.
No,
Czemu
not
oni
at all.
kurna stoją na zewnętrzu? Jak kurna pada, oni są specjalni wszyscy.
Is the least I can do. Once again, this subtle uneasiness from Nina's surface. But before Hugo could get a chance to look further into it, she walked off towards the front porch without saying another word. Are you sure you're alright? You sounded like you were choking earlier.
I said I'm fine. Besides, we're already here. We can't back out now.
Listen to me, I think you should... Noah abruptly cuts his lecture short as he notices Nina stopping by the front door. She stands there silently as if contemplating something. I know this may sound rude, but I didn't get a chance to know your names. Well, you were pretty out of it when you walked in. I'm really sorry about that. Fuck. No worries. This is Detective Hugo Laurent. His assistant, Colby. And I'm his second assistant, Noah de Leon. It seems so surreal, just like a cartoon.
Ha 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 ha.
Nina meekly smiles before turning away from them. I haven't been quite honest with you, Detective Laurent.
Oh.
Just like before, as if carefully choosing her next words, she decides that in this situation, words are not enough. You see for yourselves what I mean. And with that, Nina enters the house, leaving the three to follow behind. Hugo is about to enter through the foyer when he feels attack on his arm. Don't forget what I told you. If something happens, let me know right away.
Bardzo śmieszne. You'll be the first to know.
And with that, Noah realizes his grips on Hugo. They proceed to head in, not knowing what awaits them beyond the door. Greeted with a brightly lit hallway, Hugo noticed that the interior is just as grand. Endowed with floral accents and antique paintings, it executes an elegant charm found only in a resplendent house such as this. However, Hugo noticed something even more distinct than the splendor. This house is much more terrifying inside than out. Please come this way. Bracing themselves, they entered the dimly lit drawing room. At first glance, Hugo could not discern the silhouette situated at the far corner. However, on closer inspection, he now understands the reason for all of Nina's uncertain vagueness. Grandfather, we have guests. He looks fine.
O,
He looks fine. He looks fine.
On wygląda młodzi od głównego bohatera.
What the fuck? Sitting on the armchair is a young man. He is dressed in a white-collared down dress shirt, tucked in with black slacks and black penny loafers. Staring only at the window, the young man sits there dazed with little acknowledgement of the people around him. Still, motionless, like a doll. Grandpa, there are the people I spoke of. This is Detective Laurent and his two assistants, Colby and Noah. They are going to help us. Even after introducing them to the head of the Mortimer estate, Hugo and Noah could not help but feel unnerved. The man before them is supposed to be frail and older than any of them, and yet here he remains, forever unchanging, forever young. They have come,
Był tym, kto patrzył, czy nie?
I don't know, a long way, so
Jak to
I'll be
nie
making
wiesz, ty
sarcasm.
wszystko wiesz.
Kurwa, nie denerwuj mnie, chłopie. Ja pierwszy raz gram w tą grę. Pierwszy raz. Would you also like some, Grandpa? The young man still does not reply back. Never glance at Nina or anyone in the room. Only fixed on the rain. I'll be sure to make a cup for you too. She then intimidatingly gestured to Hugo and Noah back to the foyer. Burying more questions, the two follow Nina outside. But before they leave the drawing room, Hugo takes one last look at the young man. There is an all too familiar air about Henry Mortimer. His eyes. They're too similar to his own. Whatever he might be longing for, Hugo knows it will not end well.
Ja mam pytanie. Będę mógł go czytać?
Jakby coś powiedział. Wątpię, że coś będzie mówił.
Let's go. No właśnie, dlatego chcę go czytać.
Pytasz, to sorry, okej. Spoko.
That man.
Yes, he's my grandfather, the one I asked you all to watch over. I know this is hard to believe, but Nina draws something out from her pocket. It's an antique picture of a young man with black hair wearing a luxurious suit. He appears to be poised and refined, a complete contrast to the current Henry Mortimer. This isn't much to go by, but I swear he's the same person. Then why does he look so young? It happened a few nights ago. I was on my way to get a cup of tea when I heard a loud foot coming from my grandfather's room. I was worried that something fell over, so I went to go check. When I opened the door, I found him collapsed on the ground. I rushed to help him, but I did, he looked so different. So many things were rushing to my head, and yet he felt so similar to me. He wore the same clothes that my grandpa wore that night. And his face, I recognized his face. He just looked younger.
Odpis to tak naprawdę jest inna osoba.
Nie rób mi tego. That was also the same night I found the letter. It was next to him, already opened. I'm sorry again for all of this. No matter who I went to, they either said something wrong with me or my family. With everything going on, maybe they're right. The pools of water, the dripping sounds, the letter, and now this. Maybe my family is really cursed.
They're not. Curses aren't real. Yes, they are.
Detective?
I think we easily get to involved in believing that sort of thing exists. In reality, the ones who fixate on it feeds off of it. Rumors, doubts, rumors, doubts, lies. All of those things are what they want to become real. Deep-rooted emotions like that, emotions like that can't possibly be healed or fixed right away. But like a curse, those emotions drag other people down with them. Personally, I think you will catch up in all of this. But I assure you will see this through. For you and your grandfather.
Thank you.
Czekaj, ty też jesteś babcią, a jesteś młoda, ty. Fuck.
Spadaj, zejdź ze
Coś
mnie.
jest nie tak.
Zejdź ze mnie.
Chciałaby.
No.
Good. Now our first priority is to find out more about Lois. Nina, the letter you showed us back at the agency, do you have it with you?
Yes, it's here.
Do you mind if I borrow it for a bit? I'll be sure to give it back.
Of course.
I'll check upstairs. Nah, you and Colby check the ground floor.
Got it. Before they leave to do their own investigations, Hugo grabs a hold of Noah's shoulder. He leans in, close enough for Nina to not hear.
Keep a close eye on Miss Mortimer and Nina. Especially Nina.
Okay.
I'm counting on you. You too, boy.
And with that, Hugo heads upstairs, starting his investigation. Mortimer Estate, you... After searching vigorously through each of the rooms, he knew his findings would eventually lead him here.
This is it.
Hugo walks towards the nearest lampshade and opens it. Dimly illuminated, he sees the extent of how lavish this part of the house is. From customers' drapes at the vintage furniture, for lab, everything is excuse the extravagance. But much like the interior Hugo has seen so far, he finds this one in particular reeks of it. Plastered from wall to wall, a sense of gloom lingers. It's as if the room itself is moldering despite its preserved nature.
I need to hurry. I don't want to stay here for too long. Będą wybory?
Nie wiem, chyba nie. It's a story. He searched and searched, still with no sign of anything. Not one thing pertaining to Louis.
Damn it, nothing. Just if he cleared out everything, just blank everywhere. So it has to be here. I'm just missing something.
He ponders again before remembering the letter.
This is the only proof Lois exists so far. I'll try to read it again. Maybe I overlooked it.
As he takes the letter out from the envelope, he notices a change within. Bearing no foreboding thread at the bottom of the page, it looks just like a regular letter.
What the? Yeah?
If you can't come, then I understand. It's pretty dreary after all. But if I can ask one last favor of you, could you keep my locket? I know this is selfish of me, but I like for you to have it. I'll be happy knowing it's with you. Thank you for everything, Henry. Forever yours, Louis.
Opciu cofnij, 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 cofnij. If it is, did you...
You done?
Czekaj, bo myślałem, że na... Dobra, może iść. Myślałem, że na początku na przykład pierwsze zdania będą się składać w całość albo coś.
Nah.
Is the same Lois? I thought he was the cause of all of this. I don't understand.
Poof. Without warning, the sound of a click can be heard across the bedroom, as if something unlocked itself. Hugo turns around and sees at the foot of the bed a chest. Unlike the other furniture, its dark and rustic features have not been maintained well, left to rot on its own. Preparing himself, he opens the chest. Inside, scrummed together are bunches of notebooks and small trinkets. Hugo continues to rummage through when he stumbles across an old newspaper article. Young man found dead by the lake.
Oh.
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 An unidentified young man was found on the morning of 3 days prior to his death, according to police. Ruled out as a suicide, police have claimed that the troubled youth drowned himself. This certainly is a tragic loss, an unfortunate event indeed, his comments. No claim of his body has been made yet.
Louis.
By the corner of Hugo's eyes, he spots a bright glint buoyed beneath the clutter. He reaches for it. He looks fine.
Oh.
A locket of brilliant gold shines unblemished, retaining a timeless luster. Inside it safeguards a picture of a young man with glasses, smiling brightly.
This must be the locket that he was talking about. It's so pretty.
I agree.
I'm surprised it still shines like this. And this picture. Did he put this here? No, it might have been Henry. But why? Why would he store it away like this? What should I do?
Oh!
No!
Take the locket or leave the locket.
Bierzemy to. I should probably hold on to this for now.
Hugo is about to put everything back into the chest when he feels a wet and cold sensation crawling up his leg.
What? What's there?
Look at his face. A pool of water relentlessly spreads across the floor, already seeping into the chest.
Damn it, no!
Suddenly, the lights shut off. A scream is heard, followed by a myriad of shouts. Hugo is about to call out to Noah, but stops at the sight of pale feet before him. Looming over him stands a tall and ominous figure. His face is shrouded in complete darkness, devoid of any human emotion. It appears as a young man, but Hugo knows that it's far from it. No, this very thing is trying to imitate a human form, trying to be human. Hugo could only step back, paralyzed with
Czemu nie
fear.
graliśmy w to wcześniej? Czemu wybrałaś to
Masz problem.
tego jajca? Czemu nie mogliśmy to grać wcześniej, ale...
Bo nie miałam tego pobranego. Anyways, he is forced to watch the horror as it slowly creeps towards him. It's just like before, the sensation of someone staring at him from within. He's ugly. But this time he's drawing nearer, inching over so closely. The words to call out the cold beard Noah failed to reach out. Lodged within his throat, he struggles in pain. With his breathing shallow, he tries to force his body to move. And then it stops. Looking down at Hugo, filled with nothing but malice and contempt, it speaks. Don't get in my way. All of a sudden, the door to the bedroom slams shut and the entity disappears. Podoba mi się, że na streamie to jest trochę opóźnione i mogę przeczytać tekst do końca. The temptation from his body finally releases its agonizing grip, and he grasps desperately for air. His vision blurred and breathing jagged, he staggered towards the door. He yanks at the handle several times, but it's tightly jammed.
Fuck. Fuck, Colby.
To his dismay, he is only greeted with silence at the other end of the door.
Damn it.
From a distance, he faintly hears the sound of Colby's relentless barking as it gets farther away from the house. Hugo rushes towards the window. He tries to pry it open, but just like the door, a heavy force prevents him from doing so.
Fuck this.
Frantically looking around the room, he spots a nearby chair. Without a moment sooner, Hugo grabs the chair and starts to strike the window. Bit by bit, the window cracks get larger with each blow, splitting off smallest pieces.
Czemu on po prostu nie wywalił drzwi?
Wiesz co? Czytaj, wiesz?
What the hell is this thing made out of?
Still trying to catch his breath, he musters all the strength he has left for a final blow.
You just break already.
Clearing out the remaining glass shards, Hugo peers his head out to see any railing he can grab hold of. However, he discovers instead that the wall adjacent is covered in ivy. Despite how heavy the rain has drastically become, he reaches out for it, grabbing a handful of the vines. Carefully, he climbs out the window, gripping tightly and making sure he doesn't lose his footing. Yet to his luck, the patch of vines he clutches start to tear away from the wall.
Oh nie!
Out of desperation, he struggles to find his grip on another but face when his hand slips out of reach.
Shit.
Clamoring wildly as he loses grip of the ivy, he crashes down onto a thicket of bushes. Air forced out of him, he heaves uncontrollably, trying to even out his breathing. But even this is laborious. An immense pain spreads across not only his back, but his entire body.
Yeah, I'm getting too old for this.
Although his body screams out in pain, he forces himself up.
There's still time. I can do this. I have to do this.
With staggering feet and haggard breathing, he makes his way to the place where it all started. To the lake, where this tragedy starts and ends.
I.
I...
A że tak nikomu nie powiedział, że tam idzie?
Mm-mm.
Obru.
Finally entering through the park, Hugo calls out to Colby and Noah.
O! Że oni też tam wyszli?
Czytaj.
I chyba fabuła uciekła. Obino, where are you?
He hears faintly the sounds of barking and
Było...
echoes of people yelling in the distance. He rushes towards
Nie
the
było u
echoes.
ciebie, nie?
To było w grze. Guiding him through the downpour. With his heart racing and blood rushing to his head, he finds his way to the lake. Drawing closer, he sees Nina giving chase to his grandfather. Unfortunately, she doesn't get too far as Noah stops her. Grandpa, stop! Grandpa!
A dobra.
Let me go, my grandpa's his... Nina, please, it's dangerous. He'll get hurt too. I don't care, I don't want to lose anyone anymore. It's odd that instant Hugo intrudes against the water, pouring in Nina's stead. Hugo! No, don't! Tears fall deep to his ears. Not even the whines and worried cries of his partner could make him turn back. Determined, he trots further in. Nearing the deep end, he sees Henry Mortimer gazing directly at the abyss. He looks even more fragile and diseased, as if all the life has been drained from him, surrendering it all to the lake. Before Henry could lean in, Hugo reaches out and tugs at his arm.
Mr. Mortimer, listen to me. Nothing's waiting for you down there, so please come back to the shore with me.
Motionless and unresponsive, he still stares deeply into the water.
There are so many things we cannot afford to lose in our lives. And you're one of them. Nina, you're all she has left. She needs you, Mr. Mortimer.
Hugo felt it. A slight jolt from Henry's arm, as if stirred by the mentions of Nina. He slowly turns to face Hugo. Chciałeś czytać?
Nina? Przypomniało mi się.
However,
Przypomniało mi się.
just as cruel and violent as the storm, Henry jerks back, wrenching his arm away from Hugo's hold on him.
All of this is my fault. If only I got to Louis sooner, then none of this would have happened.
Henry inches even closer to the edge.
Louis, I'm sorry. I should have... Should have what? Gone in his stead? Gone with him? No, that wouldn't resolve anything. Not for you or Louis. Krzyk. A, to jest... I, dobra. Jestem ślepy. Czekaj, ubiorę okulary.
Chyba musisz. And we wait, 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 and we wait. Hello.
Hello. Read what he wrote to you 2 years ago. He understood if you didn't want to come see him. But the thing is, Mr. Mortimer, Louis never thought anything less of you. The locket is proof of that. Louis?
Loket.
Nie przeczytałem.
Masz problem.
Wiem, ale w sensie nie powinno się dać S na końcu, jak jest kogoś? Ale było S na
Nie,
końcu, to
nie, musisz się nauczyć
po prostu
angielskiego.
apostrof?
Tylko
No nie
apostrof,
umiem, okej. kiedy się dawało apostrof S? Kiedyś się
Mm.
o czymś tak jakby wspominało,
Dobra,
że...
potem będziemy się uczyć angielskiego, czytaj.
Yeah, yes, it's the symbol of his love for you. That's why you don't have to shoulder all of this pain by yourself anymore. You can talk it out. You can talk about it. About you and Lois. All of it. Together.
Hugo extends not only his hand to him, but a promise. A promise that Henry had yearned for so long. A way to forgive himself. Look at his eyes, by the way.
O, nie były zielone?
Były?
Czekaj, one teraz są
Były.
jakiego?
He hesitates
Oh.
at first. What fool believes in a deserve forgiveness? Such a thing doesn't exist. And yet, despite everything, Hugo still reaches out for him. To a stranger. Maybe he can be forgiven. Just as he was about to reach out for Hugo, a hand slithers around Henry's instead.
O,
Its arms unnaturally contoured around him, while its head perches on his shoulder. This thing, this Louis, is no longer pretending to be human. With piercing, cold green eyes, it glares directly at Hugo, mocking him, cursing him, wishing nothing but despair. We can be saved. We can be forgiven.
O.
There is only one true way out of this. I will share with you the most happiest of endings.
Czemu to tak szybko zniknęło?
Before Hugo could reach out for Henry's hand, he disappears into the water.
Jestem możliwe.
Before hearing the anguish cries and desperate pleas, Hugo dives after him into the abyss.
O.
Czuję się, jakbyśmy grali w IP teraz. Okej.
Nie, to było coś innego. To było takie... O,
A
to jest
wtedy
inne
weszliśmy
uczucie.
w obraz ryby, także też było tak samo. Okay.
Możliwe, możliwe.
Plunging into icy waters, Hugo feels shocks running rampant throughout his body, like spikes continuously piercing from his legs to the tips of his fingers. Fiercely and unyielding, his chest tightens and his heart races at the beginning to kick his legs. Hoping whichever way he goes, he'll find his way to Henry. Swimming deeper and deeper in, he sees faintly a figure slowly descending into the darkness.
Szybko krzykniki.
As he finally gets closer to Henry, long snake-like arms stretch across the void and grab Hugo's neck, finally squeezing all the air out of him. He tries desperately to wrench its hands away, but with each struggle, Hugo's movements begin to weigh heavier and heavier. Louis, where are you, Louis?
It's looking for Louis? Oh?
Digging deep into his coat's pocket, he grabs tightly in his hand the locket that Henry had kept and had long forgotten. Holding it out as it shines off so brightly in the dark. There you are. It realizes its grip on Hugo and instead reaches out for the locket. Taking this as a chance, he drops the chain and kicks with all his might to grab Henry's arm. With his heart burning and his body screaming, he swims desperately to the surface.
Almost there. Just have to...
As the lights from the surface begin to glow, Hugo makes one last attempt to reach for it. With his limbs worn out and his energy spent, this is all he can do. Before he loses his consciousness, he notices a figure swimming towards them, getting closer and closer. And then everything fades to black. Drifting along with what feels like an endless sea, Hugo crosses through the wave after wave, not knowing where he's going or caring for the matter. All he knows is that he's very, very tired. How long has it been since he had a good night's rest?
It's been too long. Maybe I should take that rest now. I'd like that so much.
I agree that you deserve it, but not here. I'm sorry for starting you. I just
Jak ja
want...
uwielbiam, jak ty akceptujesz moje z podekscytowania fabułą jako strzywyksik. To jest piękne.
Jest. Nie, po prostu ciągnę dalej, żeby szybciej skończyć.
Aha!
I just wanted to see you before I go.
To jest?
You've done so much for me, Henry. Thank you.
No worries.
From a far off distance, a voice cries out to him, beckoning for him to come back. Well, I guess this is it. Take care, Hugo. With his eyes closed and his sense still returning, he feels the constant tugs and licks of a certain bloodhound, whining as he tries to wake up his partner. Hugo! He also hears an unfamiliar voice, too unknowingly close for comfort. Eyes shut right open, he jerks up. Confused, Hugo looks around before he coughs up the remaining water in his lungs. Are you alright? Noah's tries to pack his bag while Colby continues to whine over Hugo.
What happens? Where's Mr. Mortimer?
He's safe, so is Nina. They're both okay. The police and the ambulance should be arriving soon.
Thank goodness.
Isn't there more you have to say to me? Instead of thank goodness. I swear, you don't listen to the damn thing. What will I say?
But is it really a problem? I mean, I'm not sorry, Noah.
Exhausted, he lifts out a sigh. He then continues to pat Hugo's back aggressively when someone approaches them. Detective Lauren?
Hi, Nina.
There's someone I want you to meet. Behind her stands an elderly man. Frail in stature, he timidly looks to the side pensively as he ponders to himself. Although his youth has long faded, his eyes are what catches Hugo's attention. They are no longer a piercing and vicious green, only eyes just like Nina's.
Hello, Mr. Mortimer.
Podajty.
Detective. I never got the chance to say goodbye to him. I always thought about it.
Czy ty mi właśnie uciekasz? Okay. Small break. Yeah. We wait. Yeah. Alright. Nice. Okay. Cute.
Every day.
Hello.
Yo. What if Louis lived on in this world? What if he stayed a little longer with me? It's because of that constant mindness I drag everyone down. And I kept hurting not only me, but Nina especially. I was the one who kept hurting her. The one to blame for all of this. But you, someone that I've never met, still went out of your way to save me. Not knowing my burdens or my faults. Thank you.
Hugo reaches out to Henry and smiles brightly at him.
It's my pleasure, It's my pleasure, sure. Shit, cool.
Alright, sure, sure. Anyways, before he lets go, Henry tugs on Hugo's hand one last time.
I hope that someday you overcome it. You too will overcome.
The next day.
O nie, a tak fajnie się gadało z tym dziadkiem. Ja uwielbiam takie rozmowy z starszymi ludźmi, to jest zajebiste. Czemu? Czemu on musiał pójść? Ja nie chcę. Wracaj.
Good morning, Hugo. You're bright and airy.
Orin.
With much favor and haste, Hugo resumes writing on his notepad. Although by closer inspection, he looks like he's going to combust any minute. Are you writing up the repo? Without looking up, Hugo responds back.
Yeah, for the most part. A gdzie pieniądze? Zostaliśmy je?
Czytaj.
Still need to write yours too.
I will. But since I haven't had breakfast yet, and I don't like eating by myself,
You. Let me guess. Two is better than one.
bingo! Wow, Hugo. You really catching on. I'm so proud of you. Good boy.
Ash, hallelujah. I swear, if only I hadn't fallen off from the goddamn window, maybe my report would have been shorter.
Before Noah could begin to cut the bacon, he pauses at the mention of Hugo's report. Oh yeah, by the way, mind telling me what happened to the Mortimer's window?
I broke it.
Well, that's obvious to me. What I don't understand is, why is it broken? Do you know how much it costs to repair a window like that?
I know, I know, it was really dumb of me.
Zastanów się, gdzie teraz są pieniądze.
I'm sorry.
A minute break. We'll wait. Bum, ba, bum. Bum, bum, ba-dum, bum, bum, ba-dum, bum, ba-dum, bum, ba-dum, bum. Yeah. Bum, ba-dum, bum, bum, ba-dum, bum, bum, ba-dum, bum, bum. Egg. Silver. Poof.
Nie bij, proszę. Nie bij. Ej, znowu mi się odłączyły słuchawki, jak ja ich nienawidzę. Dobra, jestem. Wracając, proszę nie bij.
Jak to szybko skończymy, to będzie fajnie.
No czy jak?
Dobra, kończ, ja chcę to skończyć, ja chcę się iść myć.
To jest demo, czy...
Nie, to jest do końca.
Besides, I told Mr. Mortimer about it before we left.
Thank you.
Honestly, I was expecting an earful from him. And also the bill.
And...
Surprisingly enough, he said it was okay.
So what? So you just called it a day after all of that? Thank you so much, Mr. Mortimer. You broke it, you pay for it.
You chill. Właśnie, babciu, już mogłabyś się uspokoić. Nie musisz mnie bić. Byłem grzeczny. Because I'll pay for it.
Nie denerwuj mnie.
Each time I kept insisting, he just shrugged it off. Say that we already went through a lot for them, so this was nothing in comparison.
Wiesz co? W tym momencie... Boże... Ludzie, których znam, zaczynają oglądać. Dobra, jebać ich, dobra.
To jest problem. Tak. Nie dla mnie. O. You know what? It's right. After all that we went through, I deserve at least an up.
Hugo puts down his pen and proceeds to head for the couch.
Colby follows after him. Wait, what about breakfast?
I'll eat it later. It's nap time now.
Heavily sighing, Noah sets aside the food on his desk and joins the other two at the couch.
I'm getting old.
I mean, you are old.
Od kiedy?
On jest starszy od... Hugo jest starszy od Noah.
Żady.
Colby whines, asking for head scratches.
Sorry boy.
Silently, Hugo scratches the back of Colby's ears as he leans closer to Noah.
No, I'm glad that you came along yesterday.
What's this? Are you getting chummy with me now?
I chummy or whatever, but I really mean it. If you hadn't saved us back there,
Look, I told you before. I'll be there whenever you get yourself into reckless shit. Besides, didn't you say this was nap time? Get some rest. You deserve it.
you too.
A calming silence fills the room as the three fall deeper into sleep. No big parties or celebrations, just each other's comfort and sharing the small but rewarding night's rest. Good end at night's rest. Oh, mamy good end! Yeah.
O!
Thank you for playing.
Już koniec!
No? Cheers break.
To mogłem uciec później, wtedy by się od razu skończyło i...
Koncept galery. Uuu. 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 Nice. Oh shoot, we're gonna be late. Nice. Oh, I can't. Nice. Nice. Serio? Pies ma tylko 3? Okej.
To oszukane, to nie...
Mhm.
Czemu to było takie krótkie?
Bo było najlepsze, a najlepsze są krótkie, dobra. Koniec gry. Koniec tego dobrego. Kończymy. Zatrzymaj stream.